I just watched the released Baldoni tapes, and I have a different take than I think most do. I found something else to be very, very interesting. But first, I am a clinical psychologist, and I've been following this from a therapeutic lens. And what I found most fascinating about the released Baldoni tapes is this was a really good look into the relationship dynamics between Baldoni and Lively. But first, let me tell you what an emotional piggy bank is. I talk about this a lot with couples that I'm working with, that essentially, in order for a couple to do really well and thrive, is you have to put into each other's emotional piggy banks. So imagine a partner comes home from work and they say, "Oh, I've had a horrible day. I just want to relax and sit down." What if the other partner who's already at home says, "Well, I had a horrible day too, and let me tell you about my day"? Well, you're not acknowledging what your other partner is saying. You're taking over the conversation, and so you've taken money out of the emotional piggy bank. Imagine a situation where a partner leans over to you and says, "Hey, I would love to talk about our weekend plans." And they start to get into it. And the other partner says, I just really want to watch my TV show. I don't really want to talk about this. This is a taking away from the emotional piggy bank. So what's putting into the piggy bank? If, say, a partner comes home and says, "Hey, I am really struggling with one of our children, and I just sometimes feel like I'm a bad parent." And the other partner says, "No, you're a wonderful parent, but you know what? I feel that way too. I feel sometimes like I'm failing in this whole parenting thing. Can we talk about it a little bit more?" Like, that is putting in and giving to the emotional piggy bank. That is very, very vital to romantic relationships, but it's also important in any other kind of relationship. So what does this have to do with the Baldoni tapes? There are moments when I think maybe Blake was feeling a little bit uncomfortable, and it could be because, as many have pointed out, she plays herself when she's in this movie, and so she's not quite in character, and they're doing this very romantic scene. That's what I'm attributing this to, but it could just be that she likes to be in charge. She begins to direct the scene, and Justin starts off by directing the scene, and he wants a little bit of silence, and Blake is very uncomfortable with this, I think. And she says, no, we should be talking. That's how this should be done. And Baldoni then shares a little bit about his wife and how they love to stare into each other's eyes, and it's just really sharing a beautiful moment. And he's connecting, right? He's reaching out to her, asking her to put into his emotional piggy bank. And again, this is very normal in any kind of relationship. And she says, "Yeah, me and Ryan, we don't do that. Actually, this is what we do, and we find silence to be very strange." And so that's her taking out of the emotional piggy bank. But what you do see is Justin trying to put into Blake's, because he sees that she's not quite joining in with him on his own interactions. So he gives her a compliment, her and Ryan a compliment, and says, "You know what, it sounds really lovely the way that you talk to each other." And she says, "I think it's more than that." And so again, he's thinking, man, I can't say anything right. And that is taking out of his emotional bank again. So I think this was a great example of how a relationship just is not working out very well. If they came to me as, two colleagues who wanted to work better together, and I saw a clip of this, I would be telling them the exact same thing. You guys need to chip in to each other's piggy banks. And what I heard was that Justin was doing it, but Blake was not. And maybe it's because the relationship had already soured at that point. Maybe she struggles to do this in general. Who knows? But this was a great example of why this whole collaboration did not work. One, she does not take direction from Justin very well. And two, there is no putting into his emotional bank.